All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. I've got a couple of interesting stories for you guys today. The first story that I've got for you guys today, a physique update from Chris Bumstead at under 9 weeks out from the 2022 Mr. Olympia Classic Physique category. He looks really good here, and this comes just one day after the news that he's no longer working with Ian Valliere as his coach. He still hasn't said who his coach is, but the rumors are right now that it's Hani Rambod, and I think those rumors have a lot of validity to them, especially based on some of the events leading up to this announcement. And I'll go ahead and give you guys my early Classic Physique Olympia prediction, at least for the winner. I think Chris is going to win again this year. He's already won 3 titles. I think he's going to go on to win his 4th title this year, and I think he's going to win at least 5 titles before somebody stops him. And I don't think 5 titles is his cap. He might lose one and come back and win some more, but I think he's going to win at least 5 before anybody slows him down or dethrones him. So I don't see anybody stopping Chris this year. I don't see anybody stopping Chris next year. I could be wrong, but my money for this year is on Chris Bumstead winning Classic Physique. I think outside of that, I think Urs and Terrence are really pushing that top 3. Ramon Dino's really pushing it to a lot of these younger guys. I think are going to push him, but I really think that Chris is a solidified champion. He knows what he's doing. He's found his rhythm. He's found the physique that works. He's probably working with a much better coach than Ian this time around. And I think Chris has probably got one of those physiques where anybody could have coached him. His physique is so good. His structure is so good. It wouldn't have been, I don't think, too difficult for any bodybuilding coach to coach him to an Olympia victory because his body was just made for classic physique. To me, he is the epitome of what that division should be. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Do you guys see anybody stopping Chris Bumstead this year? Now, next up in the news, another physique update from Nick Walker under 9 weeks out. A kind of a side transition pose here. And I wanted to do a quick comparison because we can get kind of a glimpse of, I think, partially the first call out at the Olympia. I think all of these guys are going to be in the first call out. Nick Walker, Big Ramy, and William Bonac, who also posted the same side transition pose today as Nick Walker did. We can put all 3 of them in this same picture. And I really think that all 3 of these guys, I think William Bonac is going to surprise a lot of people. I think he's going to do really well. I think he's going to be first call out. I think Nick is going to make first call out. Ramy obviously is the defending champion. He's going to be first call out. And I think these 3 guys right here are probably about half of that first call out. We've still got Brandon. We've still got Hottie. We haven't seen much from them. Hunter Labrada you could probably throw in there. But I think it's safe to say that all 3 of these guys will be there, and we got the same pose from all 3 of them at the same point in their prep, all of them just about under 9 weeks out. Who do you guys think looks the best in this pose? Personally, I think Ramy takes it all day. I don't think Ramy's going to be dethroned either, him or Chris. I think Nick looks pretty freaky here. His arms look really good from the side. His arms really look pretty good from every angle. But let me know in the comments below who you've got winning this pose. All right, guys, today's video is sponsored by Established Titles. Established Titles is a fun and novel way to preserve the natural woodlands of Scotland while helping global reforestation efforts. It is a project based on a historic Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lairds or lords and ladies in English. Title packs give you at least 1 square foot of dedicated land on a private estate in Edelston, Scotland, and an official certificate with a crest. As you can see, this is the certificate that I'm displaying all over my house, in my office, on my bear, on my trophy shelf. It is a very beautiful certificate, and your certificate features a unique plot number, which signifies the exact location of your 1 square foot or more plot of land. They will also plant a tree with every order and work with global charities One Tree Planted and Trees for the Future to support global reforestation efforts. That is one of the big reasons why I chose to do the sponsorship. They are a company doing a lot of good. I have my own plot, as you can see in the certificate, and the first 200 people purchasing a title pack using the link in the description box below, my link, will effectively be next to my plot. So if you guys want to have a square foot of land next to mine, use the link in the description box below. This makes a great last minute gift. And if you guys want to go do it for the Black Friday sale, use the code NICK to get an additional 10% off. Go to establishedtitles.com/Nick to get your gift now and help support the channel. And that link will also be in the description box below. Again, code NICK. And now back to the news. But look, here's another fun thing you can do, because Chris Bumstead also posted pretty much that same angle. He's a little bit more front-facing, I guess, but you could throw in those shots of Chris Bumstead next to Big Ramy, and it's kind of an interesting comparison to see the classic physique Olympia champ, who's already won 3 titles, next to Big Ramy, the men's open Olympia champ, who's won 2, going for his 3rd this year. Which physique do you prefer in these updates, Big Ramy or Chris Bumstead? Obviously, it's apples and oranges. You can't really say which physique looks better from a competitive standpoint, but which physique do you prefer, Chris Bumstead or Big Ramy? Who would you rather look like? And then I guess who do you think would win head-to-head on stage? And it's hard to say. Throw Nick Walker in there too. Chris Bumstead, Big Ramy, Nick Walker. Which physique would you rather have? Because here's another thing to consider too. Chris Bumstead did just recently switch coaches. The rumor is that he's working with Hany Rambod. That's who I think he's working with. That's who most people say they think he's working with. I really believe there is a possibility of Chris one day switching over to open. After he wins however many classic physique Olympia titles, he's still in his 20s. He'll probably still be in his 20s when he's done winning these titles. Chris is a big guy. He's no small classic guy. And he's a dominant classic guy. I really think it's probably in the back of Chris's mind, how would I do if I switched over to men's open bodybuilding? I am not that much smaller than most of these open guys. In some cases, because of his height and his weight, he's bigger than some open guys that are top Olympians from a weight standpoint. And if he is working with somebody like Hany Rambod, I think they could get him to a really competitive place as a men's open bodybuilder. I do think it's possible we see him on an open stage. I know he's made it kind of a meme at this point. He's joked about switching to open, but I kind of feel like he would do well. I think he would be a top 10 Olympian right off the bat in open bodybuilding. I really do. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments section down below. Now, next up in the news, in 212 bodybuilding news, Mahmoud Al-Durrah is making his comeback to the Dubai Pro this weekend. So he's been away for a while. He's had a couple of injuries. I believe it was a back surgery that kept him out from competing for a while. He was with Redcon 1 for a while. He's got a massive social media following. He's one of the more popular guys online for the 212 category, boasting over 673,000 followers on Instagram and over 1 million followers on YouTube. So he's making his big comeback this weekend in Dubai after this long layoff. And I think a lot of his fans are excited to see that. His latest update has more engagement, 32,000 likes on this video than most of the men's open bodybuilders get on their videos. So kind of excited to see this comeback in Dubai, and I'm wishing him the best of luck there. I got to be honest, though, I think he needs a little bit more size. He definitely, I remember him looking a lot bigger and fuller than this when he was competing a couple years back. So that would be my opinion, but I'm still wishing him the best of luck. Now, next up in the news, a physique update of Samson Dauda at 9 weeks out from the Olympia. Samson has impressed a lot of people on the scale this past offseason, weighing over 330 pounds. At the peak of his offseason bulking, making him the second largest bodybuilder in this Olympia lineup by sheer weight alone. He is a taller guy. I think he's around 6 foot, maybe 5'11", so he's one of the taller guys in the lineup, and that may contribute to the extra weight. But behind Big Ramy, he is the second biggest by weight, like I said. So these are some side shots here, a side chest and a side tricep, I think, showing off some really impressive roundness, some really impressive fullness throughout the chest, shoulders, and arms. His legs look good here. I think Samson is a guy that's kind of underrated, not as talked about right now. But I think if he really, I've seen some people actually question whether or not he weighs what he weighs. If he really is as big as he says he is, and he does compete maybe close to 300 pounds. I don't know how heavy he's actually going to be on stage compared to that 330 in the offseason. But if he really is that big, I'm very curious to see him with that size, round, full, conditioned, next to a guy like Big Ramy, next to a guy like Nick Walker, next to a guy like Ian Valliere, these guys that are known mass monsters. If he's really that big, I'm curious to see how that translates onto the Olympia stage, because he's posted some progress pictures that would suggest he's made a lot of progress between just this year's Arnold Classic and this Olympia prep. A lot of this size was supposedly added in that time. Now, next up in the news, a physique update from Dexter Jackson. So I'm still kind of building this Masters Mr. Olympia dream team in my head. Dexter Jackson obviously is 52 right now, and interestingly enough, he actually already won a Masters Mr. Olympia title back in 2012. So I'm assuming back at that time, the Masters Olympia was 40 and over and not 50 and over. And that's still a question that remains to be answered for the 2023 Masters Olympia that they say they're bringing back to the Olympia. If it's going to be 40 and over or 50 and over. If it's 40 and over, I think that could be a whole nother ball game, because you could have Phil Heath in that conversation. Phil is 42, 43. Dexter Jackson has been retired since the 2020 Mr. Olympia, and he is now 52. But I'm still kind of imagining if it was 50 and over, kind of a healthy Masters Olympia. These guys that are already in good shape, because Dexter here in this update, he obviously looks significantly smaller than he looked when he was a competitive bodybuilder, but he still looks good. He still looks muscular. He still looks healthy. Same thing with Jay Cutler. He's obviously much smaller than he was when he was competing, but he still looks good. He still looks muscular. He still looks healthy. Kevin Levrone, very similar thing. We talked about that. Lee Priest actually looks pretty freaky, pretty big, and not as lean and mean as these guys as far as like a healthy-looking physique. But I'm kind of imagining like a TRT 50-plus Masters Olympia. These guys are on TRT anyway. Jay says he's on a low dose of testosterone. I'm assuming that's what Dexter Jackson's on. I'm assuming that's what Kevin Levrone is on, these guys over 50. If we had like this healthy, retired Masters Olympia for 50-plus, I think it would be really fascinating to see these bodybuilders post-retirement in a completely different light. They're not mass monsters anymore. They're not full-blown pro bodybuilders, but they're bodybuilders that are past their post-retirement, and they still look good. I think that would be a very interesting Masters Olympia to see, and I'm curious which direction it ends up going, who we see in this lineup. And Dexter's already said he has no interest in doing it. He's already got a Masters Olympia title, but one can only hope, right? And I'm not saying I want these guys to blast gear and start becoming pro bodybuilders again to make this comeback. I want to see these guys as they are, on some kind of low-dose testosterone, whatever, and just diet down, get ripped at just a healthy body weight. No diuretics, no growth hormone, nothing crazy. I just want to see these guys compete how they are in their retirement. I think that would be interesting, but who knows if that would ever happen. And, of course, another thing to consider is if it is over 40, that would be Phil, that would be Kai, that would be Rolly, that could be Dennis Wolf, that could be Branch Warren. There's so many really good bodybuilders that are between 40 and 50 right now. That could be a whole different ballgame. So let me know in the comment section below your dream Masters Olympian lineup and why. That's going to wrap it up for the video today, guys. I hope you did, in fact, enjoy it. Make sure you leave a like, a big old thumbs up if you did enjoy the video. Make sure you subscribe if you have not subscribed yet already. And as always, I love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Nick Strength and Power signing out. All right, guys, don't forget to click that like button and subscribe to this channel if you enjoy the content. Also, check out my Instagram at Nick Strength Power, my Facebook page, which is simply Nick Strength and Power, my secondary YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Vlogs, for vlogs and bonus content that you will not see on this channel. And consider subscribing to my third YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Pokemon, which is all things Pokemon and trading card games, completely unrelated to this channel. So if you're into that, give that one a look. And all links to merchandise and social media will be in the description box below. If you guys want a Nick Strength and Power t-shirt, that will be in the Shopify link below. Have a great day.
Dancing in the good light, everybody's feeling warm and bright. It's such a fine and natural sight. Dancing in the good light, everybody's feeling warm and bright. It's such a fine and natural sight. Everybody's dancing